Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's beautiful Thursday afternoon. Welcome to my viewpoint to my channel. This is the ATM where we assist the matter and we attack the mess. Come on in, give me a thumbs up, a like, and please subscribe to the channel. Let's get it up. Subscribe. It won't cost you anything. Okay, let's get started. We're going into Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But before we even start, let's give out the copyright disclaimer. The copyright section of 107 under the Copyright Act of 1976 is allowance for fair use of teaching and education. And anything else that I say in this video is allegedly and in my opinion, and we know our opinion, the public's opinion matters. So let's get started. Let's get started. The title you see, a woman fatally shoots two of her boyfriends. I'm going to say per se, two of her boyfriends she had been in a relationship with. Okay, let me finish going into that. Then I'm going to share my screen and let you listen to the news reporting. She had been in a relationship with these two guys. Janice Fraser, 42, was initially arrested and booked it into the Baton Rouge Parish Prison on July the 17th in connection to the deadly shooting of Christopher Holden, 34. Baton Rouge, Louisiana Department said Holden was shot to death within range of an apartment building. But around July the 15th, his body was found in the Brick Park near like Province. You probably don't know this area. I live in New Orleans area, close to New Orleans, not far from Baton Rouge, but an hour. Well, this is what happened. He was shot near the apartment complex, which on the 15th, his body was found in the Brick Park. Fraser, that means Janet Fraser, the woman, was charged with second-degree murder and obstruction of justice. And both before she was arrested again in connection to another fatal shooting, police says. She admitted it to killing. This young man was 29 years old, Emmanuel G. Anderson Jr. In October the 14th of 2021, police was called to the 9200 Hencentic or something like that. Somebody don't know what I'm saying. The street is hard to even pronounce the avenue. Around 1:40 a.m. on the 14th of October of 2021. And when they arrived on the scene, the young man, Emmanuel Anderson Jr., was dead on the scene. We have an older woman in a relationship with two men within 2.5 years, because the first young man was 29 years old, Emmanuel Anderson, and she fatally shot him, and they could not put the pieces. They didn't have enough evidence to charge her. But you're going to see in the news reporting, his friends going to speak on his behalf. They warned him. He came to them on several occasions about this woman, and he would not take it to another level of putting the officers involved, at least calling the police, getting a paper trail, right? Because he's one of those street guys that don't believe in snitching or ratting. These things have to stop. Well, anyway, I don't want to get too far on this case, because this is a monster. This is a 42-year-old woman that played on the mind of young men. She fatally shot this young man, and they did not find out because they didn't have enough evidence. And on this one in 2023 of July, they put her with this case with this Holden gentleman, Christopher Holden, 34 years old. And upon them probably interrogating her, she admitted to both of the killings, the shooting, the fatally killing of these two men. I'm going to share my screen first before I continue to give a little more insight on this, because I want them to give more in depth and a foundation of what we dealing with, because we dealing with a monster. Many a times we talk about the black and brown are not protected, and we especially talks about the black women. So where do we fit the men at in this category? They are scrutinized constantly from far beyond, and now in 2023. Now we have an older woman that's supposed to be gotten. She was 14 years older than the 29-year-old, and she was 8 years older than the 34-year-old, which she should have been more of a role model, someone that's outstanding in the community, not to take this beyond. But we're gonna understand that this young man that she got caught this year behind, his body was at an apartment building, right? Well, that's what the shooting was at. Then we noticed after on the 15th, his body was found in the brick park, in the park. So we know from just paying attention and listening that she have an accomplice that helped her move his body from the apartment complex where he actually was fatally shot and killed, into moving him in a park to dislocate and to pull the evidence that would be directing it to her, for brutally doing what she did. I don't know why and what the reason to get in her mind to find out why did she kill these men. But let's get into sharing this video right now. So hold on, guys, while I share this video. I appreciate you from holding on. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It won't hurt. Let's reach this 1,000 subscribers. I know we can. Okay, let's go. Okay, I don't know. I hope it doesn't act up with this video.
To your friends, I'm Greg Merriweather. My partner Elizabeth Fowl is off tonight. We're going to start with a story that sounds like one of those Dateline episodes. A Baton Rouge woman behind bars accused of killing not one but two boyfriends. One of them, police say, she dumped in a park. Perry Robinson talked with a man who says he's always suspected something just wasn't right. Perry.
That's right, Greg. Friends of the first victim told me today's arrest and confession came as no surprise, because they always had a feeling she was behind his murder.
I take that to the bank, and God will come down right now. I would have bet my life, even before this happened, that she was the one that killed EJ. Not another soul but her.
It's a stunning twist in two separate murder cases involving a Baton Rouge woman and her ex-boyfriends. Janice Frazier was arrested and accused of shooting and killing Christopher Holden over the weekend and dumping his body at a local park. But what happened next, only a few saw coming.
We knew like it was a gut feeling, and that's why I was so emotional today, because for the past going on, I got chills now for the past 2 years, like we knew.
Truth be told, anybody close to the scenario, we been knew it.
Imani Anderson Jr., also known as EJ, died after someone shot him near Hyacinth Avenue. According to police, there was no physical evidence, surveillance video, or witnesses to charge anyone with the crime until now. Investigators say Frazier confessed to killing EJ.
That was a crazy thing that he had just told us a week prior that she was trying to kill him.
I hate to say it, but he was one of those street guys who ain't believe in calling the police. Big EJ. Call the police, get a restraint on, get a paper trail on, something bad happened. And him not doing it didn't quite work in his favor at the end of the day.
Tolliver Hayes and his cousin Edward grew up in the same church as EJ and have tattoos in memory of their best friend. The two are glad an arrest was made, but they are still hurt it had to take this long.
Supporting him like I want him to support my family if the shoe was on the other foot.
But Frazier was booked on 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of obstruction of justice. Greg, back to you.
All right, Perry, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Let's get you to West Baton Rouge, Perry.
All righty, guys, let's do this. All right, now we have that. And I'm gonna pull another one down, and we can do that, and then we're gonna discuss this a little bit, and I'm gonna let you guys go. And let me see if I can get it. Hold on, guys, so I can skew the other one up if I can pull it up. I don't know.
She's accused of killing her boyfriend, and today we learned that Janice Frazier there is also charged with now shooting another former boyfriend. That was in 2021. All of this coming out today on Miranda Thomas in the Alert Center with what she's learned on this. Miranda, what can you tell us?
Where police say these two were separate killings. They further point out a domestic violence problem we have here in our community. And according to a spokesperson for the Baton Rouge Police Department, Frazier, the woman you see on your screen, was arrested for involvement in the shooting death of Christopher Holden. Police say Holden was found dead at a rec park early Saturday morning. Investigators believe Holden was shot in or near an apartment on Boulevard de Providence on Friday, then brought to the park. Based on evidence found, Frazier was taken into custody and then charged for the death of Holden. We just learned today, after further questioning, Frazier reportedly admitted to killing her ex-lover, Imani Anderson Jr. That shooting took place in October of 2021. Following multiple cases like this, police hope to somehow mitigate and bring awareness to domestic violence in our city.
It's a big problem, and people are having those issues and dealing with the conflict resolution or returning to the domestic violence and elevating it to the point of shooting one another.
We've also learned today police are investigating a second person's involvement in the case of Christopher Holden. Now, if you have any information that could help track down the alleged second accomplice, reach out to Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. Greg?
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's it for that. So we done found out in these two scenarios. The first one with the young guy, Imani Anderson. Well, we saw on the video, his friends spoke out, very fond of him, but he was one of those guys that's in the streets. They didn't believe in doing these things, but now I hear it's like a domestic situation that's going on, but nobody actually opening up. But somebody probably said something about a domestic situation, but we don't want we want to hold her accountable for both murders, because the simple fact she could have relieved herself of this relationship, and these two men would be still alive today. Because of that, they're not here. And when you hear them speak so profound of this young man, we didn't hear anything too much about the guy that she actually was picked up for in July this year, Christopher Holmes. We haven't heard anything well spoken about it, because a lot of times when we have domestic situation like this, they put mostly emphasis in the women, and they don't put this much energy with the black males, because out here in Louisiana, very few of the men have jobs. They mostly have like criminal backgrounds, and they don't take it lightly to kind of like put them per se on a pedestal. They will scrutinize them before they actually say anything good about them. So if you don't hear too many, when you hear about these in the New Orleans area and Baton Rouge area, Louisiana area, and they don't have a whole lot to say about them, then they've been brought up in the street. They have criminal backgrounds, and they do not take it seriously for them. But for this woman old enough to be EJ's mother, to take his life, that was disgusting. That was evil and cruel, to prey on young men. See, we have to start holding our women, our black women, accountable for the things that they do to cause these things to happen. It has so many women murders that I want to really put forward and do a little research on, that's happening in New Orleans area right now. It's just something happened to a month, and this month here, like within Within 2 months, like 3 different murders happened out here in New Orleans. And that's why by me living out here, I'm going to start doing some of these cases out here so I can bring it to the forefront of some people not hearing about it and knowing about it, because we have to start continue to protect our communities. And that means protecting the mothers, but the mothers has to play a part in protecting the community and the children as well. If you're dealing with these children and you have a conflict in playing with these children emotion, you would expect domestic violence or any kind of conflict to happen, but it should not get to a point where it's someone's life is being taken. In this case, she admitted to killing the first one that happened in 2021. They had a feeling that this was that she did it, but they didn't have enough evidence to pick her up. In this case, they have enough evidence, but they know in order for them, I don't know what the guy weighed or anything, for him to be shot at a park and then move to, at an apartment, then move to a park, then that speaks volume that it was someone else. And we all know as a woman, it was a male that helped her dispose of this person's body. Why do people get involved in crimes concerning other people's business? And then when things open up and you get caught up, and then that's another scenario right there. That's a charge within being accomplished to what she's been. They can get to a point and write laws and charge them for the same exact crime because they allow themselves to be put in a situation and they know it was not right. So who's to say he did not kill this man for this woman? Because at my job, they had let me tell you about a story before I let you go. I had a young lady had got in an altercation with a guy at the job, and he was going back and forward. It was something. He was not from New Orleans, right? So he said some things about the people in New Orleans, everybody getting uptight about it. So he approached this woman, and he was staring at her in a way that everybody was uncomfortable with this guy. We didn't know him. He was from Chicago. He's down here. So we all uptight. So he continued to argue with her. So she called one of her friends. That's the same thing that this happened. Called one of her friends to meet them outside, right? And see how this could have escalated, and she could have gotten this person killed because he stepped out of pocket and he was very disrespectful to the women that was at work. And then another situation, another friend of mine, she and her friend got in an argument, an altercation before. She called her brother. Her brother came out there and he beat the brakes on the boy, right? She goes back to the guy and she's still in a relationship with the guy. About a month later, she calls her brother, implicated her brother in this domestic situation again. Just behind an argument. It's not like the guy put his hands on her. She calls her brother. This time, the brother made it to the apartment. Before he can get out the car, he was hit with flying bullets, dead on the scene. That's why, ladies, y'all have to stop implementing these men or y'all children in your altercation, in your mess, because we as the Black community need to come together. We need to come together. And on that note, guys, I thank you for coming in. Subscribe to the channel, and I will be back with another story right outside of Louisiana in Lake Charles. Guys, don't forget, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Again, this is ATM. We assist the matter, attack the mess. I appreciate everybody that has come in. Thank you, and have a great night. I enjoyed talking to you guys. This is my perspective.